Welcome back to Legends of the LT, the podcast that brings you the stories behind the sails, the salt, and the soul of the windsurfer LT community. Today's guest is a man whose presence on the beach is as iconic as his name on the results sheet. Andrew Dolly Divola is more than just a competitor. He's a cornerstone of the Australian windsurfer scene. With a smile that lifts a fleet and a spirit that won't be broken, Dolly's story is one of resilience, grit, and pure love for the sport. Despite facing serious health challenges, Dolly continues to show up, rig up, and race hard, most recently charging his way to a podium finish in slalom at the 2025 Nationals. He's known not just for his performance on the water, but for the quiet inspiration he gives to everyone around him. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a grom just learning to tack, Dolly reminds us what it means to be part of this tribe. So grab a cuppa, settle in, and enjoy this honest, uplifting chat with one of the true legends of the windsurfer class, our beloved Dolly.
The reason I wanted to speak to you, Dolly, is that you've not been a world champion or a national champion, but somehow, and I think the interview today is trying to get to the bottom of it, you really are respected and beloved of the whole Australian windsurfer community. Wherever you are and whoever you're with, you really raise people's spirits. So you've actually, you're a real inspiration to us all. So on that subject, who and what has inspired you?
I grew up with the normal sort of sporting heroes. I was a runner, I was a surfer, a sailor. Started windsurfing when I was about 12, 13. But funnily, I guess it was about 2004 or something. I met Kurt Fearnley, and Kurt Fearnley, Paralympic legend. His whole attitude towards life and sport and stuff, and he famously basically crawled the Kokoda Trail in 2009, and that blew my mind. It was like, gee, if someone like that can do something like that, anything's possible if you put your mind to it, right? Later, I became friends with Sam Bloom. Some people might be familiar with her story through a movie called Penguin the Magpie. Another real inspirational person. I helped her try and make the Paralympics in kayaking, and she didn't get there, but now she's the para surfing world champion. Another amazing lady is Turia Pitt, the ultra marathon runner who got caught in a bushfire and was horrendously burnt. Her spirit and determination coming back from that. I've been through a lot of pain in my journey. I can't even imagine what she must have gone through. And lastly, I try not to get emotional. Our dear mate from the Peroni Club, Greg Hyde. You want to talk about inspirational people, mate? Just phenomenal. Yeah.
I think we spoke earlier, and you said that you think the universe had a reason for introducing you to those people.
I first got diagnosed. I was a bit before, probably 6 months before the Sicily Worlds, and I spent a lot of that time that year in hospital. And I was actually in hospital when everyone went over to Sicily. The Peroni Club boys and girl were messaging me from Sicily, keeping me in the loop with what was going on, and I was in a pretty bad way, and it was pretty hard to deal with that period of time, and I made a decision there and then that the next World Championships I was going to make it there, and that next World Championships was Perth. And when I was well enough, I got back on the board. The Peroni Club, they dragged me out and we trained hard. I got myself as fit as I could be. I was really struggling in heavy winds, and just worked my way up. But still, I was finding heavy winds really tough. I came out of hospital, I was like 55 kilos. My normal weight was about 82.
Yeah.
And I really made an effort to put weight on, but I'd lost a lot of muscle mass, and I found heavy winds really tough. Actually wasn't until we got to Perth and I did the WA Open. We had a bit of breeze for that, and I sort of, just through pretty much sheer will and determination, managed to get through and kind of shocked myself. I really went to Perth with the attitude that if I can just get out there and race and just take it one race at a time. I didn't know whether I'd be able to do one race, 10 races. It was really just a bit of an experiment. And that WA Open, I ended up getting the bronze. And that sort of opened my mind to what I could possibly do. And, everyone knows when we got into the Worlds, it was a pretty proud moment when I made it around the track in that marathon. I can tell you, that was seriously tough. But through what I've been through, I've just somehow, people who've been really sick face death. Something switches in your brain, and I could just sort of shut out the negatives and switch off. I've been through a lot of pain, and you learn to switch off the pain. And that regatta, I really amazed myself. I think I amazed some other people too. But yeah, to get back to how I got there, there's no way I could have done it without my mates. Everyone knows who the Peroni Club boys are. Doesn't matter if you're in Australia or around the world. Those guys and Sarah, just, yeah, I owe them a hell of a lot, Pete.
I know you're an advocate for people, as we're getting older, to have regular checks. So can you just, talk us through, how that eventuated and.
Yeah, well, Pete, I turned 50, and every few years after you turn 50, you get sent a bowel test kit, and I put it in the drawer and didn't do it. And if I'd done it, maybe my situation could have turned out a lot better. So I'm a real advocate for as we get older to do the checks. Doesn't matter if it's your bowel, if you're a girl, you're having your boobs checked, having your heart checked, your cholesterol, all that sort of stuff. Blokes with your prostate. I know a number of the windsurfing guys who are our age and around our age have had prostate cancer as well. Us Aussie blokes don't like going to the doctor. I knew I had a disease called diverticulitis, which is a bowel disease. I'd been managing that for a number of years, and I put the symptoms that I had down to just having the diverticulitis, and then I was losing a lot of weight and stuff. And as it turned out, I was at a national sailing championships in Brisbane, and as the week got on, I was getting sicker and sicker and sicker, and I made the decision to leave and come back to Sydney, and I drove back to Sydney, and I nearly didn't make it back. I could have literally died in the car. So I had a mass in my bowel, and that had ruptured my bowel. So sepsis was starting to set in, and I literally got to a hospital my life was in the balance. Very lucky to have some very, very good surgeons that just happened to be at the hospital at that time, and they saved my life. If a particular surgeon hadn't have been there, a guy called Andrew Pearson, Dr. Andrew Pearson, along with my other surgeon, Julian Ip, I wouldn't have made it. So super appreciative, certainly, to them. Yeah. My specialist, when he found out I was going to the Windsurfer Worlds, he said, "Yeah, what? You can't windsurf. I'm not meant to lift anything over 5 kilos."
Oh.
So he said, "How do you pull the sail up?" And I said, "I don't drop my sail." And he said, "How much does the board weigh? You've got to carry that down to the water." And I said, "Oh, the board's 5 kilos." So yeah, I told a few fibs, but yeah, I'm not going to rot away, sitting around wasting my time. One thing I want to do now in life is I say yes to everything. People say, let's do this, let's do that, let's go and do this sailing regatta, this windsurfing regatta, let's do a road trip to here, let's go camping there. I just say yes, yes, yes all the time. My wife says I live the life of Riley. But it's just a switch in your brain. You just want to live life. There's a great saying: yesterday is gone. Today is the only day.
How important has the LT been to your sort of recovery and your everyday life?
Mate, I've spoken about the Peroni Club, obviously, but it's the entire LT community. I'm open about my story, so everyone knows. Everyone's super supportive. And it's pretty well documented my sailing background as well. Sailors are great people, but the LT community, the windsurfing community as well, they're just good people. It's just a fantastic vibe. Everyone, we go out and we race hard, but generally we race fair, and generally the people, I can't think of anyone that I don't like in the windsurfing community, and I'd like to think vice versa. They're just really good, genuine people. And I think that's one of the big attractions of the windsurfer class. And for someone from someone from the outside looking in that's looking to join it, I think they just come to one regatta, and that's the other thing. You talk to people and laugh with people. It doesn't matter if they're the world champion or they just finish 10th in the cruiser division. Everyone just embraces everyone. It's just an amazing community. I feel really privileged to be a part of it, that's for sure.